Hi, I'm Norleen, and today I'm here to read Chapter 7 of my old fanfiction Xanna. Content warning, strongly outdated humor, strongly inspired by anime. It's very ridiculous. I still hope you like it. Let's get started. Chapter 7. Where are we going? Another day had gone by. Xanna was laying on the ground, staring at the sky. She sighed. She was bored out of her mind. Why does it seem like that there is absolutely nothing to do today? Because of your short attention span? No, that's not it this time. I think it's because there is nothing to do. At all. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Absolutely. I get it! There's nothing to do! Please shut up! Xanna was quiet, but only because she was thinking of something to do, not because Izzy told her to. She sighed again. Can anyone think of something to do? At all? Seriously, anything at all. 'Cause I'm up for anything. At all. Anything? Makoki asked with a little twinkle in his eye. I believe that's what I just said. Then I think I just thought of something, he said with a devious smile. Really? Xanna said and sat up, looking hopeful. What is it? Izzy smacked her forehead. Idiot, how can you not see that he wants to— What about questing? Oxel asked, mainly because he didn't want Makoki telling Xanna of the thing he thought of. Xanna groaned and plopped her back down on the ground. Questing is boring. No, it's not. It's very fun. You know what's fun? Moxa asked. Killing humans? Dethium asked. That sounds very fun. Xanna smacked Izzy. She flew across to the other side of Xanna's mind. No, Moxa said. Oh. Going to the beach sounds fun. What about going shopping? Cosmo asked. The other three stared at him for a moment. I still say questing, Oxel said. I say killing humans, Dethium said. I say going to the beach, Moxa said. Questing. Humans. Beach. Shopping. Each one of them stood up and began to glare at each other. They got into an argument. Gishpek, Izzy, Xanna, and Mittens sighed. Makoki laughed as he watched them argue. Geez, why can't the guys see that killing humans is actually the best option? Why does this happen every time we have nothing to do? Because you're all idiots? Except for Dethium. I think she's the only one with a good head on her shoulders. That is, she does until someone knocks it off. Xanna laughed quietly. Ow! My hair! Cosmo shouted in the background. Him and the others had gotten into a wrestling match. Your other right! Dethium shouted because her head had gotten knocked off. Again. Makoki was on the ground laughing at all of them. What about the library? Gishpek asked. Everyone paused at what they were doing to look at him. Makoki was on his back, holding his sides. Dethium's head was on the ground while her body was running into a rock. Oxel was on Moxa's back, pulling on one of his legs while Moxa was pulling on Cosmo's hair. This is so dumb. Xanna sat up and looked at Gishpek. Gizzy, you're a genius! She said and hugged him. He blushed slightly. The other guys were all giving Gishpek a "you are so going to die later" look. Because, you know, territory battles. The looks went away when Xanna stopped hugging Gishpek. Where is the library? Xanna asked. Gishpek, Oxel, Moxa, and Makoki all gave a "are you serious?" look. Dethium didn't give her that look because she also didn't know where it was. And Cosmo was playing with a dragonfly. Mittens had a paw over her face. She was probably a little ashamed of having Cosmo for an owner. Or very ashamed. Meow. Xanna rubbed the back of her head sheepishly. Well, it's just, I don't go inside of Orgrimmar that much. Liar. How am I lying? I really don't go into Orgrimmar that much. True, but you're just using that as a cover. What do you mean? I mean, you don't even know where the library in Silvermoon is! What's your point? That is my point! Xanna pretended to think about it for a moment. Nope, still don't see a point, she lied, only to get on Izzy's nerves. Ah! Which she was doing very well, because we have to repeat that every chapter. Next scene. Just follow me, Gishpek laughed. If your attention span is long enough to do that. Hey, my attention span is perfectly— Xanna looked over at Cosmo, who was still playing with a dragonfly. Oh, look at the pretty dragonfly. Exactly. Izzy sighed. I wonder if there are other people that have to deal with this kind of crap like I do. That was not necessary for it to be its own scene. That could have been added right there at the end of the other scene. That's so terrible. Next scene. After 45 minutes of playing with the dragonfly and 2.5 hours of talking to Oxel and Moxaw's parents, Xanna and the others followed Gishpek to the library. After another 20 minutes of walking, they finally made it. And here's the library, Gishpek said over Dethium's laughter. She was laughing because she thought that Oxel and Moxaw's parents were stupid, and a little gross for making out in public. I swear, if she wasn't a girl— Ow! Moxaw was whispering, and then screaming because Mittens had bitten him on the leg. She walked over to Cosmo and Xanna with a smile on her face. It was probably because she had a piece of Moxaw's pants in her mouth. She sat in between them. What was that for? I didn't even do anything! Moxaw lied. Xanna and Cosmo gave him blank looks. Then Xanna pointed to her ears. Blood elves, remember? Oh, right. Cosmo and Xanna rolled their eyes. Let's just start looking at some books, Xanna said. After that, everyone split up and began to look at books. Well, Dethium wandered off, and so did Gishpek and Cosmo. The other guys followed Xanna. Because anime! Seriously, stalkers! Seriously, shut up! Xanna was looking at books while the guys continued to follow her and stare at her. They pretended to look at books when she turned around, and then continued to stare at her when she turned back around. Xanna felt a little uncomfortable with the guys following her. Rethinking the whole not stalkers thing, Izzy smirked. Only a little. I still think they're good people, sort of. Okay, I honestly don't know anymore, but my point is that you think they're good people. How do you know I was gonna say that? I've been trapped in this hellhole that you call a mine for 15 years. I have to be an idiot like you to not be able to predict what you do or say. That's true. You have been in my mind for 15 years. So why don't you act like me? Izzy shrugged. I don't know. Maybe on the smart side of you or something. Xanna mentally shrugged and continued to look at books. She stopped when she saw a book called The Life of the Alliance caught her eye. That is a horribly put together sentence. She stopped when a book called The Life of the Alliance caught her eye. There we go. She stopped when a book called The Life of the Alliance caught her eye. Izzy raised an eyebrow at it. Why would we, the Horde, have a book about the Alliance? Maybe to study about them? Maybe. Wait, if we have a book about them, does that mean they have a book about us? Maybe. Can you say anything other than maybe? Maybe. Xanna laughed and Izzy rolled her eyes. When she was done, she pulled the book off of the shelf and immediately began to read it. Xanna walked to a table and sat down in one of the chairs, still reading the book. Wow, the Alliance sounds so interesting. I wish I could meet one. And I wish that I had my own body so I can run away from you and your stupidity. But I guess we can't always get what we want, can we? Xanna ignored Izzy and the guys who were sitting next to her pretending to read books. She was so fascinated by all the things she was reading. Stormwind, Ironforge, the way that the Alliance lived. She liked it so much she wanted to jump into the book and talk to the Alliance. Xanna quietly gasped when she saw something very interesting. She smiled. She smiled a smile that Izzy knew all too well, and she didn't like it one bit. This smile actually scared Izzy. What are you thinking? Oh, nothing. Liar! What is it? I demand to know! It's nothing. Just that there's a map in the book. Xanna mumbled something after saying that, and since Izzy is also an elf, she heard every word. What do you mean there's a map in the book? Xanna popped a little copy of the book into her head and opened it up to the page she was on. It showed a map to an Alliance city. This place, we should go there! Izzy's eyes widened at the map. Are you out of your freaking mind? No, of course not. What would give you that idea? Oh, nothing. Besides the fact that you want to go to an Alliance city where we could die. We're not gonna die. Don't say that! Why? Every time you say that, we almost die. Yeah, but we didn't, did we? Xanna said, sounding a bit like a smartass. No, Izzy said, her eyes narrowing at Xanna. She clenched her fist and gritted her teeth. But every time you say that, something bad happens. Xanna rolled her eyes. Name one time that I said that and we almost died. Well, there was the time when you found a bunny and I said don't touch it, it could kill you. Then you said that, decided to pet the bunny, and it turned into some sort of demon and tried to eat your soul. Oh, and there was that one time when you found a baby lizard, but it turned out to be a baby crocodile, and the mother tried to kill you for coming near her child. And there was a time when you decided to juggle sticks and had to go to the hospital for 3 weeks. Oh, and there was the grass incident, and the snowflake one. Izzy shuddered. I really wish I could forget that. Xanna's eye was twitching because Izzy was naming off everything stupid Xanna had done. Then there was the leopard thing. And after that was the... Xanna covered Izzy's mouth. Alright, I get it. Saying that makes bad things happen. Izzy removed Xanna's hand. So you're not going to go to the Alliance City anymore? Izzy asked, hopeful because she didn't want to die just yet. I never said that. Xanna smirked. Izzy lowered her head. I'm going to die, and with an idiot. Izzy fell to her knees, screaming into the sky. Why must you be so cruel? Xanna rolled her eyes again. Stop being such a drama queen. It's not like we're gonna... Don't say it! Okay, well, you get my point. Izzy groaned. We'll be fine. Just like how I think we're all gonna be fine after this fanfiction. If you need therapy, I'm not paying for it. Next scene. After an hour of reading the book, Xanna asked one of the librarians if she could borrow the book for at least a week. When she said yes, Xanna and the others left. As they all walked out of the library and out of Orgrimmar, without being spotted by Oxel and Moxaw's parents, Xanna read the book. She just couldn't stop reading it, but she knew she would have to eventually if she was going to tell the others she was going to go explore in Alliance City. She wasn't sure how she was going to tell herself to put it down, but she would find a way. And she found that that way was by running into a pig. Xanna picked the book off of the ground, but she didn't read it. She looked at the others. She sighed. What's wrong, Xanna? Oxel asked. How do I put this? Xanna said, rubbing one of her arms and looking in a random direction. She couldn't bring herself to look at the others at the moment. Put what? Moxa asked. Xanna finally looked at the others and sighed again. Guys, I'm gay. She's gay! She's coming out! We can all assume that, right? This harem is for nothing! Oh my god! I know what this is about! Moxa said. You do? Yes! He cried. You're breaking up with me! He cried some more. But why, Xanna? Why? Wasn't I good to you? Izzy blinked at Moxa, very, very dumbfounded. She would have said some sort of smart-ass joke or something, but she was in too much shock at how stupid Moxa was acting. She can't break up with you if you weren't even dating! Oxel yelled at his brother. Shut up! This doesn't concern you! Yes, it does! No, it doesn't! Yes, it does! You're being an idiot! I'm not. I'm just a little emotional because the only girl I'll ever love is breaking up with me! She can't break up with you if you weren't even going out in the first place! As the two orcs, Makoki and for some reason Cosmo, argued, Izzy and Xanna stared at them. She is breaking my heart. Why can't you be understanding about that, Aki? Don't call me that in public. And no, you can't break up if we weren't even together. Yeah, we all know who she was gonna hook up with out of this group, and it certainly wasn't any of you guys, leaving only one option left. Now, I don't agree with any of you arguing over my Zonzon, so some shit's about to go down! If you're not watching and you're just listening, that argument wasn't actually there. I'm just being stupid. After 15 minutes had gone by, Izzy shook her head. It was to try and regain her brain. Please, for the love of God, tell them that you're going to an Alliance City. No. Even better, tell them that you're sad and need to visit your mother's grave. Why would I say that? Because if you tell them that you're going to an Alliance City, they'll freak out and follow you. True. What if I just ask them if they want to come? Either way, they freak out and follow you! Well, it's not that bad if they follow me, Xanna lied. Lying little whore! Izzy's eyes looked like they were going to pop out of her head after Xanna said that. She turned Xanna's head to the argument that was still going on. So you're perfectly fine dealing with that, even though you've been complaining about it ever since you met them? I have not been complaining. Izzy released her hold on Xanna's head. Even so, you would actually put me through that? Even after all the things I've done for you? What things? I don't know. Things that I will do for you? Maybe. Not likely. But still? Xanna glared at Izzy with demon-like eyes. Uh-oh. I just made things worse for myself, didn't I? So do any of you guys feel like going on a road trip? Xanna asked. The ones who were arguing stopped. The ones who were laughing stopped. Makoki and Gishpek's ears perked up and their eyes twinkled like stars in the beautiful night sky. What the fuck kind of description is that? Road trip! They cheered and were instantly next to Xanna. She looked to both sides of her. How did they get next to me so fast? I don't know. I blinked and missed what happened. So, where are we going, Miss Xanna? Gishpek asked. Who cares where we're going? We're going on a road trip! Makoki said. Xanna looked back and forth between the two a couple times, then looked at the rest of the others. Anybody else? Well, road trips are pretty much another way to explore new areas, and exploring new areas is kind of like questing. So, yeah, I'm in, Oxel said and walked over to Xanna. Road trips are just pretty much another way to have fun, so I'm in, Makaza as he walked over. It's a little bit of a struggle to read this with all the fucking typos and bullshit. Will there be killing involved? Seriously, she's so psychotic. I really hope she comes. Maybe? Xanna said nervously, ignoring Izzy. Then I'll come. And what about you, Cosmo? Xanna looked at where Cosmo had been standing 2 seconds ago, but there was just an empty spot. Cosmo? I go anywhere you do, Zonzon, Cosmo said, standing to the left of Xanna. She jumped because she had been startled. Huh! When she had landed on the ground again, standing about a foot away from the group, she stared at Cosmo. Yeah, that's something that I did before. How did you get there so fast? Cosmo just laughed. Britishly. Okay, guess we're all going, Xanna said. Sweet, let's go! Because it's awesome for these teenagers that range from 15 to 17 to all be traveling on their own to some place where they could all just die because they're on the opposing team. Yeah, parents really aren't important, are they? After that, Oxel, Moxa, Makoki, and Gishpek began to walk down the road. Xanna, Dethium, Cosmo, and Mittens didn't. Xanna stayed where she was to read the book she got from the library, and the others stayed there with her because they didn't know where they were going yet. So, where are we going, Xanna? Oxel asked. When there was no answer, everyone looked behind them to see the girls, Cosmo and Mittens, walking toward the Zeppelins. The guys ran toward them to catch up. Xanna and the ones who were following her down the right path of their road trip stepped onto the Zeppelin to the left, and the others stepped onto the Zeppelin to their right. Why are they on that Zeppelin? That's the Zeppelin to Gromgal, Oxel said. The others shrugged. Oxel walked over to the Zeppelin and tapped Xanna on her shoulder. Xanna? She said, still reading. Why are you on this Zeppelin? It's the one to Gromgal, which is in Stranglethorn Vale, which is a bad place for us to go to because we're low levels. If I haven't said it before, the timeline of this fanfiction is Wrath of the Lich King. They're all ranging from level 5 to level 37, with the main group being level 15 to level 20. Stranglethorn Vale at the time, that was an area for level 40s, just to help everyone get a grasp of the danger. Yeah, I know. Then why are you on it? It's the way we need to go for our road trip. After Xanna said that, the other three were on the Zeppelin. Oxel raised an eyebrow at Xanna. Are you sure? Xanna nodded. Yep, says so right here on the map. Xanna pointed a finger into the book, still reading it. You sure you're not reading it wrong? Xanna finally looked up at Oxel. I know how to read a map, Aki. Oxel blushed because of what Xanna had just called him. The others were quietly laughing, except for Dethium. She was laughing out loud. Xanna! Oxel said in a whisper, but it was also kind of a yell. Don't call me that! Aw, your future wife can't call you Aki, Xanna said with a smirk. Oxel's blush got bigger, and so did his eyes. I jizzed in his pants. Oxel's face was bright pink now. He looked away from Xanna and began to fidget with his fingers. Xanna laughed. Oxel, I'm kidding. Zonzon, why didn't you tell me you had a boyfriend? Cosmo said as he marched over to her and Oxel. He wrapped an arm around her shoulder. So, how long have you been dating my little Zonzon? Cosmo asked. It was more of a demand, really. So basically he's like, oh, so how long have you two been together? I need to count how many days you need to suffer as I torture you slowly. Oxel still didn't look and continued to blush and fidget with his fingers. Xanna laughed a little more. No, Cosmo, I was just kidding. Let him answer, Zon. Cosmo was getting a little annoyed with Oxel because he wasn't answering. Hello? Need an answer. Like any day now, please. Xanna rolled her eyes and pulled a magazine out of one of her bags. Thank goodness I got this from the library too. She poked Cosmo with the magazine. Cosmo, look! It's a magazine about hairdos! Cosmo quickly turned his head away from Oxel into the magazine. It was called Monthly Elf Style. He grabbed the magazine and walked away reading it, completely forgetting about the conversation he was having with Oxel. Oh look, Mittens! They even have hairstyle tips for cats! Mittens rolled her eyes. Meow! Oxel looked at Xanna when Cosmo walked away. He still had a blush, but it wasn't as bad as it was a minute ago. Thanks, he said and stepped onto the Zeppelin. That was the last thing he said to her for the rest of the day. I guess end on that awkward note, Oxel. Final scene! That should actually be attached to the other scene. So, when are you going to tell them where you're all headed? I was thinking when we were halfway there. You're not going to tell them till you actually get there, are you? You know me so well, Xanna smiled. Izzy sighed. I wonder how all of this is going to end. Who knows? For now, let's just worry about getting the Stormwind. End of Chapter 7. Wow, so Chapter 7 is basically when we finally start getting somewhere, I think? When we're, 2/11ths through the story? Wow, took a long time to get here. Moving on to the rating. Writing, 0. Grammar, punctuation, spelling, 0. Plot, 0.1, because it's Alliance versus Horde. They are Horde going into Alliance territory. 0.1 for interest. Characters, 0.1. Entertainment, I'm gonna say 5. I'm entertained. For me, the entertainment has been increasing. I think that might be 1 whole star overall. I hope everyone else has been enjoying. Thanks for being here. Be sure to leave any predictions you have down in the comments and feel free to always start a conversation with me. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here with me. May the peace be with you.